200 BC, a wealthy merchant named Zeno lived in the city of Cyprus. His life was one of success until disaster struck. While sailing from Phoenicia to Piraeus, his ship sank, taking all his cargo with it. In a single moment, everything he had worked for was gone. Years of effort, wealth, and security, all wiped away by forces beyond his control. Now, put yourself in his position. How would you react if everything you built disappeared overnight? Would you be consumed by anger, crushed by despair? Would you feel as though life had betrayed you? Most would, but not Zeno. Instead of being broken by misfortune, he used it as the foundation for something greater. One shift in perspective can change everything. Stoicism is built on this idea: the power to endure, adapt, and remain steady in the face of adversity. After immersing himself in the works of Socrates and other great thinkers, Zeno developed and taught the philosophy of Stoicism. He realized that while external events are beyond our control, our response to them is entirely within our power. Instead of mourning his loss, he embraced it. Instead of clinging to what was gone, he focused on mastering his mindset. This is the heart of Stoicism, the ability to remain calm, resilient, and unshaken, no matter what life throws your way. Today, many people think of Stoics as individuals who are emotionally unshakable, those who don't give in to extreme feelings like rage or anxiety. However, Stoicism was never just about suppressing emotions. It was a comprehensive way of understanding and navigating life. Rather than a rigid emotional detachment, it offered a philosophy for viewing the world, processing challenges, and turning adversity into wisdom. Stoicism remains just as relevant today as it was thousands of years ago. Its core teachings help us transform negative emotions into valuable insights, shaping our perspectives in unique ways. Since no two people experience life the same way, perspective is everything. Unlike other philosophical traditions that were confined to academic institutions or royal courts, Stoicism was open to all. The early Stoics gathered in public spaces to discuss and share their ideas, believing that wisdom should be accessible to everyone regardless of status. From the lowest slave to the most powerful ruler, anyone could learn and adopt Stoic principles. Some of history's most renowned Stoics include Epictetus, whose very name means acquired, as he was born into slavery; Seneca, a distinguished statesman and advisor; and Marcus Aurelius, a Roman emperor and one of the most influential leaders of his time. Beyond personal resilience, the Stoics championed equality and unity. They coined the term cosmopolitan, meaning citizen of the world, reflecting their belief that all humans are part of a shared community, free from artificial divisions. Today, we associate the word with diverse global cities like New York, Toronto, Dubai, and London, an embodiment of the inclusivity the Stoics envisioned. At the time of Stoicism's rise, philosophy was largely restricted to men, but the Stoics challenged this norm. Musonius Rufus, the teacher of Epictetus, argued passionately for women's right to study philosophy, stating, "It is not men alone who possess eagerness and a natural inclination toward virtue, but women also. Women are pleased no less than men by noble and just deeds and reject their opposites. Since that is so, why should men be the only ones to seek wisdom and live well?" Even in an era of strict gender roles, the Stoics advocated for intellectual equality, allowing women to engage with their philosophy freely. Far more than a set of rules for emotional restraint, Stoicism is a timeless guide to life, empowering individuals from all backgrounds to seek wisdom, develop resilience, and find meaning in their experiences. Many people adopt Stoicism as a way of life because it offers a practical approach to dealing with life's uncertainties. In a world full of unexpected twists, our emotions often cloud our judgment. The truth is, we don't become sad simply because bad things happen. We become sad because they happen unexpectedly. Take rain, for example. It's essential for watering plants, sustaining livestock, and maintaining the balance of nature. But if a sudden downpour catches you without an umbrella, it's far from pleasant. Yet, we don't cry when it rains. Why? Because we expect it. We know we can't control the weather, and while it may be inconvenient, the rain eventually stops and the sun returns. Stoicism teaches us to approach life in the same way. It encourages us to expect hardships rather than be caught off guard by them. By imagining the worst possible outcome, we prepare ourselves mentally and emotionally. And in doing so, we find peace, not in avoiding difficulties, but in accepting them. One of the core exercises in Stoicism is voluntary discomfort, a practice designed to cultivate gratitude and resilience. This involves intentionally putting yourself in uncomfortable situations, sleeping on the floor, taking cold showers instead of hot ones, or eating only basic foods like potatoes for a few days. By embracing discomfort, we learn that even in difficult circumstances, we can endure, adapt, and even thrive with the right mindset. This practice strengthens our ability to face future challenges without fear. In today's world, we are constantly bombarded with advertisements that tell us we need the latest gadgets, the perfect appearance, or a certain level of wealth to be happy. This message fuels dissatisfaction, making us feel like we are never enough. But true fulfillment doesn't come from external validation, it comes from within. From childhood, we absorb lessons from our families, schools, and the world around us. Often, these sources offer conflicting perspectives, shaping our beliefs in ways we might not even question. But do we really need to internalize everything we're taught? If we blindly accept societal expectations, we risk setting ourselves up for disappointment, chasing a version of success that was never truly our own. Instead, we should focus on personal growth for its own sake, improve ourselves because we want to, not because of external pressures or expectations. When we attach our happiness to outside validation, we almost always end up disappointed. But when we pursue growth for ourselves alone, we create a foundation for lasting fulfillment and inner peace. We often try to fill the emptiness inside us with external things, spending money on luxury cars, big houses, or even starting a family. But too often, we chase these things for their external value rather than their true internal meaning. Stoicism warns that when we tie our happiness to external factors, we make ourselves vulnerable to forces beyond our control. Cars break down, natural disasters destroy homes, and divorce rates continue to rise. Even the so-called free things in life come at a cost, the cost of space, both physical and mental. As Seneca wisely said, learning to live with less will create space in your life for the things that truly matter. True fulfillment comes not from what we own, but from who we are. Instead of relying on possessions or circumstances for happiness, We must anchor it within ourselves. The only thing we truly control is our response to life's challenges. No matter what happens, we can always choose to keep a clear mind and a steady heart. That is the dichotomy of control, one of the core principles of Stoic philosophy. As Epictetus famously said, the chief task in life is simply this: to identify and separate matters so that I can say clearly to myself which are externals not under my control and which have to do with the choices I actually control. The Stoics teach that we must recognize the difference between what is within our control and what isn't. Our sense of value shouldn't come from external factors beyond our influence, but from the effort and integrity we put into what we can control. Pursuing goals is admirable, but allowing setbacks to break you is, from a Stoic perspective, pointless. Creating YouTube videos may not be as demanding as ruling an empire, but it still comes with challenges. You start with an idea, one that might take ages to form, only to research it, doubt it, scrap it, and start over. Then comes scripting, filming, editing, crafting a thumbnail, writing the title, and finalizing everything before you hit upload. Up until that moment, everything is within your power. But once you post the video, control shifts to the YouTube algorithm. Many people measure their success based on views, subscribers, or followers, metrics that are largely outside their control. Stoicism, however, encourages a different mindset. Judge your work by the effort you put in, not by external validation. Trust the process. Living with less means freeing yourself from the self-imposed constraints of society's expectations. Consider someone who has worked tirelessly at their job for 6 months, believing they've earned a promotion. They present their case to their boss, only to be met with a polite thank you and no promotion. Disheartened, they assume they must be terrible at their job. But they fail to consider other possibilities. The boss may have been in a bad mood, another candidate may have been more qualified, or the company may be facing financial difficulties. Without knowing the real reason, they still feel defeated. Had they placed their sense of self-worth in the quality of their work rather than the outcome, they could have avoided unnecessary disappointment. By maintaining their effort and focusing on personal growth, their goal wouldn't have been lost, only delayed. This shift in mindset is crucial. A true Stoic does not measure success by financial gain, but finds peace in knowing they can lead a fulfilling life without depending on material wealth. The 4 cardinal virtues of Stoicism are wisdom, courage, temperance, and justice. Wisdom is the ability to distinguish between what is within our control and what is not, as well as the power to choose our response to external events. As Viktor Frankl famously said, between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space is our power to choose our response. Courage can be summarized in 2 words: persist and resist. It is the strength to endure hardships and stand firm in the face of adversity. Temperance, or moderation, is about doing more with less, expressing profound ideas with fewer words and living without excess. While billionaires like Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk compete for the top spots on Forbes' list, Stoics believe true wealth lies in having what is essential and knowing when enough is enough. Justice, the most important Stoic virtue, teaches that no one chose a different path. While in prison, Mandela read the works of Marcus Aurelius and adopted the core values of Stoicism. Instead of seeking retribution, he urged his people to move beyond the past, emphasizing that it was beyond their control. His focus was on rebuilding the nation, fostering reconciliation, and ensuring a better future. This is the way of the Stoic. Stoic principles are deeply embedded in therapies like rational emotive behavioral therapy, REBT, and logotherapy. REBT helps individuals recognize and challenge negative thought patterns that contribute to emotional and behavioral struggles. By applying logic, one can dismantle unfounded beliefs and replace them with healthier, more constructive perspectives. Logotherapy, on the other hand, emphasizes the Stoic belief that human beings are driven by purpose. Even in life's most difficult moments, meaning and fulfillment can be found by identifying and embracing that purpose. Of course, this is not an instant transformation. It's a process that requires reshaping our thought patterns. Letting go of old, unhelpful ways of thinking and adopting new, empowering beliefs takes time and effort. A key aspect of cultivating happiness is practicing self-worth. By shifting our sense of value toward things within our control, we free ourselves from fixation on external circumstances beyond our influence. This perspective allows us to lead a more fulfilling and content life. Stoicism serves as a guide, helping us navigate both past regrets and present challenges, leading us toward a state of inner peace. And if, despite our efforts, our journey ends sooner than we had hoped, we can still take comfort in knowing we lived with intention and integrity. After all, everything has its time, and every journey reaches its end.